The retail apocalypse is coming. Aldi will close thousands of stores. The retail apocalypse is spreading like a brush fire, with numerous retail giants worldwide affected by this disaster. The ever-changing world is creating significant turmoil that the owners of retail companies are figuring out what to do to solve this economic storm. Here is why Aldi is on the verge of an economic collapse. Inflation is a challenge that eternally haunts retail stores. The stiff economy is affecting the purchasing power of consumers because of the high cost of goods, and this has affected the decline in sales. This condition has been experienced in the United States, and the inflationary behavior has caused some stores to be closed in Minnesota. Equivalently, Aldi was the second supermarket to attain a high inflation record out of the 7 main supermarkets that include Lidl, Asda, Waitrose, Tesco, Morrisons, Orcado, and Sainsbury's. Likewise, Aldi recorded an inflation rate of 20.8%. Specifically, prices of agricultural products rose enormously, thereby limiting the affordability of food. For example, the price of cheese and milk rose by 22.3% and 26.3% respectively. Butter skyrocketed by 29.4%. And bakery products showed a 20% increase. The decline in sales means a decline in Aldi's revenue, and this has caused millions of dollars to be registered on losses. Thus, harmonizing this loss means a store has to be closed to balance the books. Equivalently, as per reports, they faced a loss of $229 million in 2021 as their sales transitioned from $265 million to only $36 million, signaling an 86% decline. The unpredictability of consumer behavior is fueling the retail apocalypse experienced in Aldi. This is shown by the overwhelming demand for food despite the high prices. The middle class and the rich especially are doing in a panic buy, and this habit is leaving the shelves empty. This incident is happening to Aldi's branches in Hungary. Regarding this, some of Aldi's supermarkets had no eggs, while the supply of potatoes and milk was limited. As a result, restrictions were placed on such products to tame the behavior of hoarding. For instance, you can only buy 1 liter of milk and 1 kilogram of potatoes at a time. In some areas, some sections of the stores were closed to give time for shelves to be restocked. Their branches in the United Kingdom are experiencing shortages of pepper, tomatoes, and vegetables. As a consequence, a buyer is supposed to pick 3 on each shelf. Now, this brings us to another cause of the retail apocalypse, which is in the supply chain issue. The climatic pattern has negatively affected the flow of agricultural foodstuffs to the stores. In the case of the United Kingdom, the country depends on North Africa and Spain for the importation of lettuce and tomatoes. Unfortunately, floods have been striking Morocco, while the unusually cold weather is affecting Spain. This causes a glitch in the supply due to the natural calamities, and it may take a long time for Aldi's shelves to be filled again with fresh food. In addition, their branches in Belgium are experiencing a scarcity of coffee stock due to technical difficulties with their suppliers, hence leaving supermarket racks empty. Aside from this, they've been treating supply chain workers well. This can be tracked back to 2015, when more than 1,000 workers in Bangladesh were involved in the distribution. The workers cried foul play by Aldi for not adhering to the contract after weeks and months of unpaid wages. This elicited the interest of the government of Bangladesh through the Ministry of Labor to order the company to make payments to the Bangladesh suppliers. In a similar circumstance, the Australian suppliers expressed similar dissatisfaction with how Aldi is handling its distributors. This happened in March of 2023, where the suppliers complained that Aldi does not care about the safety of their drivers. Likewise, they mentioned that they had to go deep into their pockets to finance the maintenance cost of the trucks, and they were not given any allowances should an emergency occur. Apart from the suppliers' grievances, there have been shipping delays for seasonal products. The delays have occurred weekly, and this has made some sections of Aldi less operational, and it has resorted to some customers having to wait patiently for a successful delivery. To describe how serious the supply chain problem is, they're looking forward to adding more than 1,000 staff to the distribution channel. Even though Aldi is slowly recovering from the impact of COVID-19, the virus still has a substantive effect on the supply chain issues due to a lot of restrictions taking place at the ports. The distribution challenge is indeed a factor that has been eating up Aldi's progress like cancer, and in the long term, it will have an impact on the closure of some stores, since there is no need to open stores with empty shelves. As the cost of living is biting, so is the rate of crime rising. The crime has brought in robbers and burglars who bravely storm into Aldi premises to steal commodities. This has led to inventory shrinkage due to losses attached by such criminals and has made it difficult for the retail store to conduct business peacefully. In the United States, a store in Memphis was closed as a result of this. Regarding this, there have been more than 12 cases of burglaries reported to the authorities, but this did not aid the immediate help Aldi wanted. As a result, the operation of the store was permanently halted since the employees also voiced concerns about their safety. The same burglary also caused the closure of stores in Chicago due to the alarming rate of crime. In Melbourne, Australia, CCTV footage captured 2 criminals who broke into the Aldi stores and made away with the computers and other valuable items. Luckily, no one was injured as the authorities are investigating to arrest the culprits. The intensive looting is now a menacing disease that Aldi is yet to cure. Another factor that has gassed up Aldi closures is understaffing. A grocery store in Saranac Lake in New York, USA, is expected to be shut down because of a lack of manpower to facilitate the running of the premises. We can link their challenge of understaffing to how they have breached labor rules in the past. Not forgetting they did not pay their suppliers, their workers don't feel motivated to work for under $10 per hour. Similarly, some feel the amount is little compared to the cost of living. On the other side, Aldi is also struggling to fund a huge wage bill, which is increasing the operation cost and driving the company into losses. The chief executive officer of Aldi confirmed this struggle by remarking that the merchandiser is battling with an enormous, complex payroll. Conversely, the poor retention rate is a core reason why they are facing understaffing, since no employee wants to be exploited, hence the jobless would pass Aldi's job openings. Their past reputations are making everyone not value their vacancies, and this is very worrying. The retail apocalypse has ignited to a public uproar. To start, Aldi's prices of food are expensive that the low class and social class cannot afford. As a consequence, many have slept hungry due to the inflation, while some have skipped diets. In addition, many have suffered from malnutrition and dietary-related diseases. Aldi's store shutdown means someone has to undergo a job cut. Those that depend on the jobs for livelihood are now put in a miasma of stress and frustration because of their families are also in danger. Some personnel, such as the suppliers, have not been paid despite putting in their blood and sweat to show the commitment of their duties. As a result, the companies these suppliers are working under have been shut down because they have not received any funds. The Scott Logistics of Australia and the Swan Garment of Bangladesh are the 2 supplier companies that have fallen victim to this injustice. Sadly, no compensation has been made to date, as the former suppliers are still suffering from Aldi's ignorance. In the United States, there have been protests in Chicago after the closure of the West Side grocery store. Ironically, the residents had not been given a notice that the store had been shut down. The dissatisfaction was linked to the fact that the supermarket was located in a convenient place for residents to buy goods, and it gave customers a good shopping experience. Thus, the sudden closure now robs their joy. Shall Aldi survive this bloody apocalyptic battle, or are we yet to witness more drama? We shall see in the coming events.